Let's get to the news. President Biden on Thursday signed his $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill into law. And if you're wondering what Americans are going to spend it on, overdraft fees. During President Biden's primetime address on Thursday night, Fox News aired a live Tucker Carlson reaction shot, though still not as weird as when they aired a President Trump reaction shot to President Trump. That's right, during President Biden's primetime address, Fox News aired a live Tucker Carlson reaction shot, I guess to make him seem like a tough guy, but really it made him come off like a nosy neighbor. All it was missing was a set of Venetian blinds. Honey, come here. Joe's talking about empathy again. President Biden today kicked off his so-called Help Is Here campaign to promote his new $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill, though I don't really know if a bill giving out $1,400 to people really needs promotion. You don't need to promote something everyone already loves. It's why you never see commercials for Sriracha. The House of Representatives voted last week to require background checks for all gun purchases. It's the kind of common sense, broadly popular proposal that can't possibly succeed. So last night was the Grammys, and I wanted to do a whole piece about it, but we ran out of time.
Well, how much time do we have?
1 minute.
Well, that's all the time I need.
Start the clock.
First of all, the Grammys peaked before they even started because Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, won one for Brown Skin Girl. You remember how she's all on the song singing, Brown Skin Girl, like a little baby. It's so cute. She is perfect. I love her, and I'm right.
48 seconds.
Okay, Harry Styles performed in a leather suit and a boa, and I was like, why do I always want to wear what Harry Styles wears? Am I okay? Lizzo and Megan Thee Stallion were adorable. Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak performed the only song I have been listening to for 10 days straight. Then, for the first time, all the nominees for Best Country Album were women, and then I assume one of them won.
30 seconds.
Then, when the Strokes won their Grammy, they accepted it over Zoom, and they were like, who won? It keeps cutting out. Who won? And then someone told them, and they were like, yeah! Then Beyonce won her 28th Grammy, making her the most decorated woman or singer in Grammy history.
You're gonna run out of time.
I can make it! So even though she's never won for Record of the Year, they only give her Grammys for half the time she deserves, and she is still crushing people. Do you know that she is the best, and she deserves more Grammys than she has? Well, now you do.
Amber Ruffin, everybody. Are you going to stay there for the rest of the monologue?
Yeah. I'm going to stay here.
According to a new report, a dog rescue charity that has ties to former President Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara, has spent almost $2 million at Trump properties over the last 7 years. Wow! What is it with her and rescues? Former President Trump reportedly thought Meghan Markle was, quote, no good after watching her interview with Oprah, but declined to say so publicly out of fear of being canceled. Dude, I don't know how to tell you this, but you were canceled. You're not president anymore. You don't have a Twitter account. We can't even find out what you think about Meghan Markle until like a week after everybody else stopped talking about it. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on WandaVision. I was confused the whole time. Vice President Kamala Harris virtually appeared at this weekend's Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, as opposed to our last vice president, who doesn't believe that kids are a choice. According to a new survey, the average single person will masturbate 3 times per day due to coronavirus-related quarantines and lockdowns. 3 times a day? Where was this survey taken? At the Primate House? An ice cream company has released a new flavor inspired by the sitcom Friends called Central Perk Almond Fudge. It's the first ever all-vanilla fudge. The Ken doll last week turned 60 years old. He's still smooth down there, but now it doesn't bother him so much. I'm fine just watching golf. And finally, that means that somebody else has to masturbate 6 times to make up for Ken. Based on this new average I'm hearing so much about. Finally, according to new CDC data, women are expected to outlive men by 5 years nationwide. Said men, weird, who bets I can't lick this ceiling fan? President Biden said yesterday that the country was on track to administer over 100 million vaccine doses and send 100 million stimulus checks in the next 10 days. But don't forget, by this point in his presidency, the last guy had completed almost 100 million putts. 99 million. I think you guys overcounted. Vice President Kamala Harris traveled to Colorado today to promote the coronavirus relief package and visited a vaccination clinic and a restaurant. Hopefully in that order. Republican Senator Ron Johnson said in an interview last week that he was not concerned for his safety during January's Capitol attack. Well, yeah, you're all Trump guys. That's like a bird saying it wasn't concerned for its safety in the birds. Birds, ref. According to a new poll, a majority of Iowans do not want 87-year-old Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley to seek re-election next year, though many Iowans are cool with whatever keeps him off the roads. Former President Trump was recently seen boarding a 24-year-old mid-sized private plane for his recent trip to New York. And if there's one thing New York already has plenty of, it's terrible jets. Tesla announced yesterday that CEO Elon Musk changed his name at the company to the Techno King of Tesla. And if you're wondering why he's so insufferable, he has a Tesla. The New York Post published an article over the weekend titled, "In the Age of Sexual Harassment Claims, Is the Office Romance Dead?" You know, when you ask a question like that, you're kind of telling on yourself. That's like saying, since murder is illegal, can I assume you don't want to go out on my boat? According to new research, dogs can be more effective at detecting the coronavirus than standard PCR tests, but they're a lot less gentle with the swabs. I did a really nice job with that one. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I'll admit, in my head, I thought they'd be holding the swabs in their paws, but that's what makes this show so much fun to do. That's right. According to new research, dogs can detect coronavirus with up to 94% accuracy. Cats, too, they just won't tell you. Retailer Dick's Sporting Goods today launched its own line of men's athletic apparel, but it's been a little awkward for the employees. Let's see what we have out back. What's your dick size? Scollins. I mean, I know he can't resist, but fundamentally the joke makes no sense. Like when you ask for a pair of khakis at the Gap, they don't say, "What's your Gap's size?" It's a store. They don't have different sizes. You don't have to know your size for that store. Not like the metric system. And finally, according to a new study, people are not good at judging when to end a conversation or when to start one. You know what he's asking him? What's your dick size? The store! You can't beat me if it's a store. I'm gonna have to watch to see if I got beat. And it's nice, because I almost never have any reason to watch. Karen wrote that joke, which is funny. That means somebody here's been talking to Karen about what goes on in the men's room. Today was St. Patrick's Day, though this year Dr. Fauci recommends wearing one of these instead. The Biden administration has announced that the national vaccine availability website, vaccinefinder.gov, is scheduled to go live on May 1st, so make sure to check it on May 7th when they get it back up and running. Former President Trump last night called into Fox News host Maria Bartiromo's show and encouraged all Americans to get the vaccine. Trump said getting the vaccine was the best thing he ever secretly did. During an interview last night on Fox News, former President Trump said that he is not a fan of Duchess Meghan Markle because of the way, quote, she talks about the Queen. I must have missed that. Meghan dissed Oprah? To her face? Actor Elliot Page recently became the first transgender man to be on the cover of Time magazine. Now, I know that term may be unfamiliar to some, so for the uninformed, a magazine is a printed publication containing articles and photos. An ice cream company in New Jersey is reportedly facing more than $230,000 in fines after two workers lost a total of 3 fingers while repairing a machine. Even more concerning, their new flavor, chocolate chip cookie dough. Allie. Oh, Allie's eyes light up. She reads a story like that. A former Goldman Sachs investment banker recently purchased the New York City mansion that once belonged to Jeffrey Epstein for $51 million. This according to a note card in the SVU writer's room. Public health officials confirmed yesterday that the coronavirus variant first detected in Brazil has been found in Massachusetts. The Brazilian variant is just like the regular one, but it looks like this. Wouldn't have expected Brian for that one. There you go. You learn a little bit more about your writers every day. Never, always more than I want to know. Dictionary.com has recently added finna and supposedly to its online database, as in, supposedly, I'm finna stop using dictionary.com. According to a new report, legalizing marijuana created 77,000 new jobs last year, or put another way, 77,000 people forgot to show up at their old jobs. And finally, it was announced yesterday that Tiger Woods will be featured on the PGA 2K video game, though for obvious reasons, he's being removed from Mario Kart. Ahead of yesterday's virtual summit between the Prime Minister of Ireland and President Biden, the Irish government sent the White House a traditional bowl of shamrocks, and we sent them the traditional American gift, a bouquet of Tomahawk cruise missiles. Former President Trump is reportedly planning to sit for 12 interviews over the next few weeks with authors writing books about him. 12 books! Harry Potter didn't even get 12 books. What's left to know? Oh, wow. It says here that as a husband, he was subpar. 12 Republican congressmen yesterday voted against honoring law enforcement officers who responded to the Capitol siege because they disagreed with the bill's characterization of the attack as an insurrection. Apparently, they'd rather think of it as an overbooked tour. The NCAA March Madness basketball tournament began today, and it's extra exciting because there was no tournament last year. So this is my first chance in 2 years to get furious at 19-year-olds I hadn't heard of 5 minutes ago. Pass it, Johnson! You're not a shooter! Damn you, Northeast Tennessee A&M! The mayor of Lyon, France, recently caused an outrage after he announced that school menus would no longer include meat, which means those poor kids will have to switch to white wine. Today was Awkward Moments Day. This news first reported by the guy who's actually waving to the person behind you. And finally, the goat population of a town in North Wales has experienced a sharp rise after officials were unable to provide contraceptives to the goats due to the pandemic. And it's been really hard on the kids.